Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. Consider yourself ambushed. Ambush! Left or right? I'm here with Lauren. We've just had a total recall, bust up of what was happening between the link between Streamlabs and YouTube as a welcome back kind of present to Kaz. But rather than just fall out and say no till tomorrow night, which I'd rescheduled, I kept myself to the grindstone, my nose to the grindstone, big one at that, and we're here. Let's see who makes it. There probably won't be many people turn up. But we're going to talk about opening, broadening your horizon, about going with the punches, not being so set up and prepared that you're not ready and able to be decisive in life and be able to change when good news, bad news, sliding doors, opportunities arise. I've had a fantastic last 24 hours. I've got a killer headache from having nearly a 6-pack of mid-strength beers, so bear with me. And we're going to go to Lauren's introduction, and then from there we'll go to the introduction of those that have been ambushed successfully. Lauren.
Hello everyone. Kaz, I'm really glad you had a great little mini holiday, and I really hope that Dicko enjoyed himself too. There were some people who I think were waiting it out. I think there was about 5 people who were waiting it out. So well done to them.
Yes.
They were ready for the ambush. And I was first. Then we had Yaros. I bet you feel like a
Kebab. I do.
Yeah. Diamond Bravo, Mark Zamp, Kemp Thorne, Pete Parker, Jessie Bray. Hi Jessie. I hope your lovely ladies are good.
Little baby. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Emma C, Spartan 117, Smoky Beeve in New Zealand. Mr. Buckarooni's here. Hi, Mr. Buckaroony.
Hey, Bucko.
Yep. Carl P. Hi, Carl.
Get off the roof.
Keeper of Hounds is here. Zach Saxon is here.
Racist. Is that Anglo-Saxon?
Well, it's Zach Saxon. I don't know. I imagine it is. Yep, so there's a few people. There's like 32 or something watching now. So that, there's a few people jumped into the ambush.
Well, fantastic. Because guys and gals, we were going to wait till tomorrow night, and I couldn't afford to wait till tomorrow night. The reason being is that means that I'm going into your weekend, which I don't like to do because that's your time. That's your time to chill, to get to base camp and wonder if you're going to continue on to the peak of Mount Everest. I've had an amazing couple of days. Amazing. My disconnection from my military career is now kaput. I'm totally disengaged. Now, what do I mean by that to Carl, to Mr. Patterson, to the moderators, to all of those that have been here with the channel? That is, I always had an umbilical cord attached from me to the military because I still had pending employer benefits, etc. That was something that was connecting me financially, administrationally to that said military career. Always that, when do you get it out? For those that don't know, I'm on a military pension. Okay, for multiple things that I've got wrong with me. Butthole, back, and the head. Now, in no way am I a victim. Something just happened.
That was...
It's Fletch. Hey, Fletch. Not too cow for all those that want to go to 343. Fletch just got back from defence. He says, in his exact words, it sucks. It was shit. And what he means by that is goddamn hard. And he can't believe that one day he's actually going to do it at times 10 level. Where there is no quitting, because it's not a test. You're just doing your job. You can't throw the tools down and say, I'm a casualty. I can't go on. Open your horizons and then start digging. That's all you can do. And if you say, my hands are hurting, they're bleeding, they're going to go, can we get someone over here? The slave in the war galley has got a blister. The guy with the black cloak and the 2 hammers is going to go, just go and have a rest over there. Take your shackles off for a little while. Maybe come up and have a drink with the captain. That's not going to happen.
Well, sorry to cut in, but speaking of poop, Smokey B will be happy. He's always talking about poop. Mr. Buckaroony said we got ambushed in a padded cell the other night from a bloke armed up with turd all over him. A bronze whaler.
Did you say that's cultural appropriation and that he's racist? Did you go, Happy Easter?
Yeah.
Chocolate coated fuckwit?
I hope you don't see that every day. Imagine the smell. Ew.
I would say, no worries. This is your cell for the next 24 hours. You're going to eat the whole bag.
Until you get crusty. Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Buccaroony, that's awesome. You know, that's how you get the young fella to earn his pay, so to speak. Go over and take care of that chocolate crackle.
Yeah.
I saw a guy today before I go backwards in what we're going to talk about. And I woke up this morning and I didn't realise that when I booked the hotel, the capsule hotel, and by the way, my sheets hadn't been changed from the pilgrim that had been there before me.
Ooh,
I didn't get to run a black light over it to say, and she's pregnant.
And you were just talking about sharing a bed with the vagabond before you.
It is true. It is true. But Dicko, we went out there last night, is UK born, Irish, Northern Ireland, and he is a fanatic for darts, for maybe plane spotting, train spotting, and everything that comes with being UK. And he could not believe the fact that there was a darts bar in the same building in the floor below where he was goddamn sleeping. And we went there, and I'm not sure if it was an autistic darts throwing tryout, but I saw some of the most unskilled OH&S nightmare dart throwing freaks that were also more camp than Fletcher's last 2 weeks. You know, and I'm just looking around, and Dicko was at home. He doesn't give a shit about your sexuality. He was throwing limp-wristed darts with the rest of them. And then last night, he's above me, not like a sailor, JJ. He's in the capsule above me. He came back at like 2:30. He'd end up going off and playing bloody karaoke, singing, you know, with all these other people of different backgrounds. You know, and then he comes back in, woke up absolutely fine, no hangover.
Oh, well, good on him. I like that.
I think he needed that time out.
Yeah, good on him. Mini holidays are great, especially when you've got little kids. They're really sometimes all you can get, a mini holiday.
They chap your coit.
Little kids really can.
How can you love something so much that 99% of the time you're pissed off with?
Oh, do you know, like, the amount of times I've had little kids come and try and actually finish my paintings for me, like
Beautiful.
I'm doing a beautiful painting, and they'll just come in and just join in.
They're going to eat the whole bag, those ones. We've got Eagle Eye here saying, hi, Kaz, Lauren. I can't even see this properly.
Yeah, watch the 60 Minutes post today of the Aussie bloke that got his legs blown up. I think his name's Curtis or something, that guy. I knew someone who knew him. And at the same time, he gave his unit instructions to help, and he was the medic for the team. He's an Invictus guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, I was off the grid for 24 hours, and I come back and I'm finding about the lady that extorted all her friends. They've just found her foot. I found out after 4 years of almost nil combat by the US military complex, no sooner has someone got in that I've warned everyone about, you know, weekend at Bernie's, Biden, who hasn't done a thing right in his life. And all of a sudden now he's doing strikes on foreign countries in the Middle East again. You're going, if you are for anyone except Mr. Trump, have a look at yourself in the mirror, because you're about to reap the whirlwind and see exactly what happens if you let emotion get in the way of greatness.
Now, Ms. Harris's tweets are coming back to haunt her.
Oh,
He was pretty vocal when everything that Trump did.
she had a procession of 3 people waiting for her the other day, and that was 2 more than him. You know, and people still believe that 90 million people voted for someone.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Anyway.
And the 2 people with him were holding him up.
Yeah. So, Lauren, a lot of people didn't see the video I put out yesterday before I actually went into town. And the purpose of that was to give you a stripped back, no edited explanation of exactly what was happening in the life of Kaz, and how every one of you that is in military, whether you're in there for 4 years, whether you're in for 40, you know, Mr. Buckaroon would have been all over this one. that you cut the strings one at a time, and it's not by getting out of the military. It's after you leave, certain things occur that then disconnect you from that said career, which is not a bad thing. It allows you to move on with your life. It allows you to be another version of you. It allows doors to open and everything you have to now become a story that made ingredients that became your future. Is it, can you please read that? I can't read.
Jackson Middleton. Hi, just found your channel about a week ago. Well, welcome, Jackson.
Thanks, mate.
Hoping to join the army soon. Your videos have helped me understand everything a bit better. Thanks. Thank you for being here.
Look, that's awesome, mate. And that's the thing. You know, for those that don't know why we do this and why it appears like Kaz, how come you haven't disengaged from this? How come you keep talking about this? It's because every time I think I'm out, you bring me back in. Someone will ask the other question. Now, Jackson, the whole point about this streaming is people can make as many videos as they like, whether it be Goggins, whether it be Wilco, whether it be an SAS guy, Commando guy, Royal Australian Regiment guy, whether it's Signals, whether it's Stoddy, whether it's Lauren. But until you have streams, you don't see the context. You don't see the writing in between the Tarzan super grip that holds the whole thing together, that displays the warts and shows that there is people that love their military career after it, despite the fact that there is those that often had unsuccessful careers that will tell you this is not what you should do. There's two sides to every story. There is nothing in this for me to tell you fake news folly that is not relevant to your military career. The reason why I always speak about infantry, Foxhound 343 is because that is the pointiest end of the stick. Okay? Shared by the cavalry, armoured corps. Right. That's why I don't talk about transport. That's why I'm not talking about Ramey, etc. So it's out of no disrespect. I'm just talking about the sharpest end of the stick that everyone else is supporting.
Yeah. It's also, you're a subject matter expert in that, you know. There's, you know,
That's right.
It would be foolish to be commenting on things that the one isn't qualified to comment on. You know, so there's people in the chat who can help you with other things. We have Simon Powell is our resident Raffy.
Yes.
We have Mr. Gray here for the Navy. We have a sniper who gets around sometimes.
We have Daz telling us about the ins and outs of the carburetor of the Hyundai.
Exactly, and here's Stoddy. You know, Stoddy can
Medic.
help out any of your medic questions. Mr. Buccarooni has lots of experience. You know, so that you know, I think it's good that you keep talking about things because people have really interesting questions. I've learned an awful lot from other people's questions here.
Yep.
You know, I don't know a lot of them, and sometimes every now and then someone comes out with a really, really good question. But everyone really should watch the video you put out yesterday. It was really great, and it was lovely hearing you talk about, you know, your next step in life.
It's a necessary evil that will happen to everyone. There is people like Jackson who just find this channel, and it's not their fault that they just found it now. And that doesn't mean they don't deserve to ask a question that's been answered 1,000 times over the last 4 years. Okay, they deserve their time in the sun as well. Can we get some thumbs up for Jackson? Not only thank you very much for the donation, mate, but also letting us know, mate, that you're new to the channel. It's great to have you here. We're all equals, even if our names are different colours. The blue is for moderators, the long-term OG trusted individuals who have the maturity to garnish comments, so to speak, answer questions, you know, but also calibrate which ones I should be answering next. Okay,
Yeah.
then we've got the green members, and then we've got the grey, who is still yet undecided if I'm the droid they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, if we don't know the answer, we will try and direct you to where you might find it.
Yeah.
And that's wiser than just guessing. So, here's a comment, if that's okay.
Go.
Philip has said, "Hi Kaz, thank you for all your videos. I'm in the application stage of being a reservist in the ADF. You are not special is my favourite. Really helpful content, Kaz. Have a great weekend." That's a really good video, by the way.
I'll re-look at that and see the strengths of that video and the relevance of that one.
One of my favourites. I also like the don't run before you can walk one. Never can remember the name of it, but I think I've directed people to that one more than any other video. So if you are new here, do check out the back catalogue of videos. Look at all those sets of 3 thumbs.
For those that don't know, I have like this little OCD for the 3 hands because it's like 1.5 people. I don't know what it is. Carl P was the man that started this, and he did that, and I believe with a little bit of the Red Witch of Justin and Lincoln, his sons, together. That's all of them sort of, I don't know. I feel like I'm possessed. Fletch throws 3 Skippy badges up there. Well, you know what, mate? I'm going to look into my analytical Kirk Douglas balls on the chin. That's right. That's not garlic team. I bought 2 scrotums over the weekend. What a fine scrotum it is. These are going all the way to USA. I know that one there looks like, a fit girl's thick butt. But these are actual real kangaroo scrotums.
Yeah,
which this one over here is going to the fine bottle opener, or prison shank, should go to Buckaroony, and that is going to our really good friend Uncle Joe, who is one of our longest Patreon members from the USA, who likes to taste wines every day, every hour. So that's going to him. He was an anaesthetist, so what better way to do that? Feels great on the cheeks too. And this one here is going to our lovely Jody and Matt from the USA. We've got a whole bunch of other things in, not just sets of nuts, but some other things. We're going to send some embarrassing things that, for those without a sense of humour, might get quite cranky at when we send them to Americans. We're going to send some lollies that are Redskins. We're going to send a packet of Chico babies. We might send some coon cheese. Every one of those things that makes them gasp and go, it's just a brand in Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't overthink it. Guys and gals, I saw something today, and again, I haven't got back to the nexus of what I wanted to talk about, broadening your horizons, etc. But there's a lurker, not doing a real great job. I see you there. Fletch is in public transport. Chances are, with his broken down immune system at the moment, he could end up face over a bench getting rallied, because he's on public transport on the way to Sydney. Nothing good happens with that. We've got Smokey over there throwing the hands out from New Zealand. Good to have you here, bro.
Boys here. Michael Stott said other places give people a rabbit's foot. Exactly, you see.
What does it do with the other 3?
Good luck thing. In Townsville, I remember sending my family those cane toad purses.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
You could buy a purse made of a cane toad, and the mouth is the bit that you open.
If you come from New Jersey, does it become a poise? What about, can we quickly discuss before I go back again and again?
Yeah.
New breaking news. What was the lady's name? They've just found her foot.
Oh, I can't quite remember. Let me find out.
This is a woman who tried to live the high life by extorting friends and getting people into financial distress by telling them something was an awesome, investment. Go through her. I'm not talking about QPM, Queensland Pacific Metals. If you're in jail, break out. Mr. Buckaroony, you need to check it out.
Yep.
But she screwed over all her friends. They believe that she'd done the bolt and now her foot has turned up like Dave D, twisted off against the thread. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're dead.
Yeah, Melissa Caddick.
Melissa Caddick, if you're listening out there, hop along. Hope you've learnt your lesson.
Come on now.
Jackson, the bearer of coffee, thank you, sir. I wish I had one now. It's my own fault that I don't.
Yep.
Shit,
Mr.
hadn't you?
Patterson just popped in to say hello. He can't stay. He's got to go watch Vera. Bye, Mr. Patterson. I also like Vera.
I understand it. I don't know what you're talking about, but I had an auntie Vera.
It's an old lady detective thing. It's really good.
Can we please get some thumbs up, preferably not 3, and some balls on the chin, Kaz, for Mr. Jackson? that ain't garlic. Thank you to our new member. It's great to have you here. It is the best way to turn your name a different colour. It makes your messages stand out. And whoops, let's put this one a little bit higher so you can see it. The Nutsu cow we're going to give you rather than a kraken. This is for you, sir.
I accept.
He accepts. Welcome. Welcome to the crew. Great to have you here. And let me tell you, you're not going to find another channel. There is no other channel like this in Australia. And here you are before the 10,000 again. We're at 16,500 nearly a couple of years ago, but we lost our last year before, lost our channel, okay, that got basically swiped off us by someone in Asia. Who else we got?
JP's just rocked up.
We've got a bloody pirate here.
Yeah, pirates. There's a calamari.
Wait, that has to get cracking. Can we double up on those thumbs? Lucky the phone is sheltering that. We've got thumbs of turd there by Smokey B from New Zealand. We've got J Hayes West Side over here. We've got the pirate. Is it Pirate 13?
Pirate 13. I think you put up 3 thumbs.
Great to have you here, pirate.
Show your appreciation.
That's not the one we're after. What we're after, we have to double this one up.
I accept.
You're going to get some calamari in your guts right here. There we go. I'd love some calamari now. I ate Korean on the weekend.
It's a kraken. Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, calamari.
I'm loving this green screen.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, just makes it a lot easier. Thanks for coming, pirate. Great to have you here, mate. You know, all we need is a captain now. Okay, let me go back quickly. I saw something today when I was with Aaron Dixon, who was coming back from the dead, out of his capsule after I'd slept an entire night in a bed that someone else had slept in the night before. Probably some filthy European vagabond, you know, that left something that sort of makes me itchy now.
No, don't.
And we looked down, and I could not believe the amount of empty shops in Sydney City. It was horrible, because you know that each one of those is a business that someone's economy may never come back from because of COVID, etc.
That's a shame.
But the thing that really made me sad, and I whisked my way down there and gave a donation to this guy, was a guy who would have been about 65 years old. Imagine this, Rob. When you see a guy who's 65 years old and he's busking in something that is not particularly talented, but it's where the tie is up, looks like you're in the wind, standing on one foot, balancing to get donations, and no one was giving him donations. And I looked at it not as someone who's busking, which is in fact, or entertaining, is in fact earning the money they get rather than just standing there going, give me. This is someone, when you look at them and think to yourself, this man didn't look like a mental health patient. He was clearly there to try and raise money. And at that age, I doubt he was doing it for him. Is this someone whose children weren't doing enough as a parent, so he was helping grandkids? Was he doing this to help his own child? Is this a man that is never going to be able to retire because those below him don't have the steady legs or foundation to be able to be the best version of themselves, to be able to then support those below them? This is a man who has probably worked his entire life, because if he hadn't, he wouldn't do this, and giving away not just his soul, but giving away his self-respect so that he could help someone. This is a man that gets things done, that will never literally retire and have the much needed rest that he deserves. And it was a really sad moment.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking, how did it get to this? Who is letting you do this on their behalf? What's just happened? Who have we got?
Delegate just happened. May
Delegate.
the 23rd, 343 Enlistment, baby.
Delegate. Delegate, let's put you in the book.
Yeah, put him in the book.
He's in the book until he passes or fails. That filthy lad. Can you please say that date again?
Yep, May the 24th.
May the 24th. That's just after 1 month after Capiong and 1 month after Anzac Day. So I'll have been 50 for 1 month.
That's a great age. Life starts at 50.
And that brings us to the point we're going to talk about. So I put out the video here. So can we get some thumbs up? And also, bam, you're going to get some cracking for this one. Thanks, Mr. Delegate. This is going towards now whatever's coming next.
It's a kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law.
Two
That
mother-in-laws.
should make him happy.
DOS.
Welcome, calamari.
That would be a very nice kebab. Mother-in-law kebab. Okay, so basically what occurred was, by getting the superannuation out, how would you spend 160,000 lightning fast? You need to spend it, because if you don't, it trickles out, and then you end up with nothing either. If you lived in Sydney, you can't buy a house, that's a deposit. If I'd spent the money on a house, then I would be stuck in a situation where, postcode-wise, I can't move out of. I'd have no resources to be able to go on trips, to be able to keep my head, to have life balance, etc.
Yep.
So what did I do? The first thing I did was decide that I haven't always been a good guy. There's times in my past where, because of different things with me, you know, I haven't been the best to live with. So the first thing is to say thank you to my ex-partner, who has never done anything malicious to me. So we went and got over some money, sorted that out, it's done. Okay, from there we looked at how do I then look after setting up a future, because if I don't invest some money, then what occurs is I will be guaranteed to now live the rest of my life pay to pay. And that sucks. So I've invested some money. If it works out, we're going to be flush, team. Flush. You know, if it doesn't, I'll always be able to put my hand on my heart and said, I tried to get myself in line, you know, using, what do we call it? Selflessly thinking about all those in my realm of influence, and try to invest my way out of a mundane lifestyle. So if that doesn't work, that's fine. Okay, I can make peace with that. Now all that leaves is, 1, moving out of this place, 2, getting my dream camera, the R5, right, where the bloody lenses are $4,000 a lens. Okay, and the other one is getting the camper van. Well, we've got the money for the camper van sitting there too. You know, so now I'm in a position where everything is good. You know, the wind is in my sails. I've made the breakaway now from the military career. I still have a YouTube channel. I still have great people that I talk to at least twice a week on a stream, in between, with the ability to make other videos. My daughter's happy. You know, Lauren is about to be happy. You know,
I'm always happy anyway.
For those that don't know,
Super happy.
I never got, what's that? The thought plickens? Cheeky bastard.
It's a good name.
All of the camera footage I was meant to get in the last 24 hours. After that emotional, not even emotional. You know, some people didn't understand what I was saying. I'm not making myself a victim here.
Yeah, no,
you know,
you never have. You don't do that.
Yeah, not by design. I've accidentally landed on my feet. Okay? What it was meant to do was just give you hope that no matter how bad things are, sliding doors open if you give them the opportunity. Choose action. You know, you need to sometimes give up vice to be able to show people that you're trying. But then from there, you need to keep reinventing yourself, and you might accidentally get it right. You don't know what's around the corner where all of a sudden the sun glows back on your face.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's talking about what they do with the money.
That's awesome.
What he's saying, he'd start with a new pair of joggers and then a car, because he's got his heart set on that hearse, which has overtaken the poo brown Volvo he was going to get. I'd get
You get a hearse for free when you die?
I'd get that fancy tattoo chair that I sent you. That's what I'd get.
That's a gimp chair.
But it'd be awesome.
That looks like 50 shades of Lauren. You know, if I was going to get on that chair and you said it was for tattoo, I'd go, bullshit.
There's nothing I couldn't do with that chair.
It is a weird looking stick man figure. It looks like it's out of bloody Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it does look like something Ramsay Bolton would have.
It does.
Oh, look at Donald Trump. He'd buy a raptor. Oh, wait.
That's right, he's already got one. Where is he?
He's right down the bottom.
I'm as blind as a man who's touched himself too many times. So Donald Trump's here. You know, great to have you here, mate. Did a better job than weekend at Bernie's. You know, the electrician at the moment has got Donald Trump's Raptor, you know, doing some work on it. Can't wait, because as soon as that's done, that means he's ready to hit the road,
Yep. So
like
excited.
Russell Coit.
Yep, so excited. And you guys are inspirational, right? To maybe even other veterans or people who have just transitioned to civilian life. And, you know, you guys didn't sit around feeling sorry for yourselves. You picked yourselves up, you did what you had to do. Now you're looking ahead to what you can do. Your life's not over.
Well, ever I've got these metaphoric balls on my chin,
Yeah.
very Spartacus, as they used to call, you know, Kirk Douglas. I'm pretty goddamn happy, you know, at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the hangover of good news that comes. So the last 48 hours, what was meant to happen was I was meant to get a whole bunch of footage for you of the capsule hotel. Again, you know, Donald Trump has been there with me in the capsule hotels. This time the sheets had already been slept in. That's right, you heard me. You know, I didn't give up. I just had another mid-strength beer and went back there and slept well. If you've been in the military, you've been in a guard room, it doesn't get worse than that. A black sheet can look like it's snowing from the amount of ball dandruff that's on it. It's horrible. You wouldn't light a match in a guard room. The filth on the bed would probably catch a life. You'd be scaving. But so we didn't do anything with the camera. I actually relaxed, because the first thing that happened when we hit the town was we had a beer. I haven't had really a beer for 2 years, other than when you see me online where I have two and I'm almost plastered. I'm ready for a leg amputation with no pain after just 2 mid-strength beers. But we went in there, had some beers, had some food, walked around, and it was just a really fantastic time. And because I never had the camera on me, you know, all I had was a handful of bloody kangaroo nuts that I bought early in the day, which would have been awkward if the bounce out of asked what's in the bag. And then we come back this morning. So footage, Neville, done. But what I did do is I decided, and Lauren kind of knows, I've sort of given her the warning order on it. Lauren is an iceberg. Behind Lauren, there is an entire family that communicates with me. Friends that live with her, previous partner, that were friends with me. And so what we've done is we've decided to reward Lauren. So can we get some thumbs up? Can we get some hands of joy and some messages to shy Miss Lauren? Because it's time that Patreon turned and helped her for meeting with the female's perspective, the estrogen, the mother of the channel. So what we did is decide, instead of just to help you, Lauren, we know that you're the dungeon master, the Dungeon and Dragons master of your family.
I am.
And we went to Games Workshop today.
Awesome.
And we spent more than a pretty penny on a gift that keeps on giving that may send people blind, because I understand in Tasmania they've only got lanterns to see by.
That's right. We haven't got electricity yet.
And I'm going to send that off tomorrow, Lauren. And that's going to come down there, and I can't wait to see,
Yeah.
you know.
You're going to make me cry, because you're so lovely, all of you. You're so kind, and it's a great community, and everyone's so wonderful. It's really no work. It's my pleasure to help you in any way I can.
You're here for every stream, mate, and your voice is better than mine.
Oh, I don't know. I think that depends on your perspective. Thank you. You're all lovely. You're going to make me cry.
Well, I'm thinking about getting a transition to a man if this channel keeps going the way it's going. Hey, we've got JP here. Work on your piss fitness. Look, the first thing I did was get rid of Vice, and I don't mean Miami Vice reruns, Tubbs and Crockett, out of my life to show people that, you know, although I can be quite boring when I haven't got a beer in my hand, you've got to show people the fuel that makes you the angriest version of yourself. You need to cut that away to show people that you're worth the rub when it comes to supporting you when you say, hey, look, I'm trying to get better. You know, if I'm going to be paid by DVA and my child, you know, eats from their hand that, you know, is filled from DVA, there's some people that hate them, some people that love them, but everyone that's being supported by them actually really is very grateful for that, so I have to be.
Exactly, yeah. I'm glad they're there. It's not that there's things that don't need fixing, just like with any system, it needs to change with the times. There's, you know, things that could be fixed, people who slip through the net, but all in all, I'm very, very glad it's there.
Yeah, look, so am I, because the next generations of soldiers, it may not necessarily be there for them, because there's always bureaucrats and politicians that are trying to save money, and for some reason it always seems to be military. And I don't know why that's where they go to. Is it because we don't have a political voice, a backlash, because we're not allowed to say anything while we're serving? Don't know.
It's interesting, though.
Yeah.
It is very interesting.
Robbie Kent, he's going thick tonight. That's good. How's the hounds going, Rob? How's it going down there in the land of single mums?
Yep.
Sparkers, the dogs.
He's talking to Draco, has said he's just applied for the army. I hope that goes well.
I do too. Because I wouldn't be talking about this subject all the time if I didn't fully endorse what you're doing. And please listen beyond the white noise, where people are talking about the politics that's happening at the top, the social engineering, the dropping of standards. Okay. Because even if they drop the standards, that doesn't mean you drop your standards. You know, if they drop their standards, if they act unprofessionally when no one's watching, that doesn't mean you have to, because at the end of the day, the standard is only truly tested at the end of a tour, the end of a career, if one, you're still alive, and two, you win the day. You know, because every time a soldier falls and a flag goes across a casket, necessary questions are asked. Could have it been avoided? If no, okay, I get it. He's a volunteer. That happens where sharp tools are played with. Okay? But if you know yourself that you've done everything you can do, that you're successful, you finish everything you start, and your team around you is the same, and your platoon commander, your captain, your OC, and your CEO is a pleasure to be with, you're fine. You're going to see battalions out there which have soaring morale, absolutely stoked. And there's going to be ones that suck. Just like in the NRL, just like in the AFL, just like in rugby union, there is franchises where it is falling apart at the seams, but above the water, looks like it's all fine. You know, but I do not believe that after someone has got to a certain ranks within the military, they should ever be allowed to work ever again. They should be retired and then have an advisory role, but nothing they can get money for. They should be paid at a level that they're not corrupted to then follow on to further political aspirations or identity politics groups, Harry, that can make them actually start to turn on the organisation because they've got the red tabs on, etc., or actually lose that moral courage they had when they were a sabre-waving lieutenant, you know, who had only the reputation and the welfare of his men in the centre of his heart where it belongs.
That's beautiful. Sometimes you say things that are so deep and heartfelt that I wish that you had a bigger public platform.
They don't come near me. Honestly, Soldier On have never contacted me. Mates for Mates never contacted me. All of these so-called organisations, they do not want to compete. And the problem with that is, it's not a competition.
Yeah, exactly.
The end state is the welfare of a soldier, the motivation and conviction of a soldier that is met with those that respect him before, during, and after his tour.
Yep.
You know, we get up on Anzac Day, not to just say thanks for those that have fallen, but to show that those that are serving in the future, for those kids that are going to serve, that should the ultimate sacrifice be paid, that your legacy will still be not only accepted and cherished, but will become the law, L-O-R-E, of the country. And the footsteps that future people make is across a bloodied path of sacrifice by not just the soldiers, but by the mothers who stayed silent as they watched their child volunteer to go into danger, the fire. Understanding that testosterone and estrogen can be like salt water and fresh water at times.
Yep, that's true.
Not always compatible.
No, exactly. Andrew agrees with you about QPM.
Oh,
Yep.
I reckon you've got a winner with QPM, Kaz, knock on wood. I might even have Dabble himself. Look, for that, can we... I'm not going to tell you to go out and do this, but
Yeah, no.
I am so excited about QPM just because of what they are. You know, people at the moment don't know how to push QPM because Queensland Pacific Metals, because it is one of a type. It is the pinnacle of nickel phosphate extraction, which makes a sludge that goes into electronic vehicle batteries. But they're the only company in the world that can do it with no waste. They don't need a purification area to get rid of the waste. It's all green. It is a company that will be feeding the electronic vehicle market, which is one of the biggest markets in the world. It is mammoth. And this company at the moment is just passing all its tests, getting A pluses. It's creating jobs. It is great for the environment. It is great for Queensland to feather in their cap, but it's a sleeping giant. And it's not the fact that it's trying to be quiet. People just aren't noticing it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think it's good. I think it's good for you. It's working out well.
And whatever's good for me is good for everyone that knows me, because everyone knows I never travel alone. You know, the first thing I do is help those around me.
You do.
You know?
You do. And well, you deserve all good things. I hope this is just the beginning of a landslide of good fortune for you.
Of sailor's fudge.
Do you want sailor's fudge?
No.
I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe you put me in these positions. I say things I would never, ever have to say.
I'm from Newcastle there. Donny Brasco? Donny Dark? I'm from Newcastle, mate. Stockton Beach. One of the biggest beaches in Australia. Fantastic.
Yeah. And Zane's just rocked up. Hi, Zane.
Hey, Zane, how you going? Hey, Billy Zane. Loved in the Titanic. Also, you're pretty good in Sniper.
Yeah, Bug said he's just made it to Singo.
Bug has.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bugs in Singo.
Yeah.
Okay, Bug, you've just made it to Singo. What day is it now? The day is Friday. Okay. So what's going to occur, mate? Your first working day now is going to be a fitness test. Okay? So over the weekend, you're going to be at holding platoon. There might be 40 people at holding platoon. There might be 60. There might be 80. There might be the culmination of 3 or 4 different platoons that are all there getting ready to go. They're going to make a new session. They're going to make everyone do the fitness test. And the top 40 to 50, okay, they will go into that session. If you're not in that top 50, you won't be in that session. And then you'll be going and getting a psychological or medical test to ask why you haven't passed or are not suitable to go into that session. So it's important you give 100% of your family name in that BFA. Do not try and be cute with your goddamn mates. There is no friends in a BFA. They are competing against you for a position that determines whether you get out of singleton in 13 weeks or 8 months. And remember that. Take it very seriously. Okay, and that's going to happen like a lightning bolt. Singleton is not like Kapuka. It's the real deal. And if you haven't been prepared or you've been just prepared, and you can only just pass a PFA, you're going to be in big trouble, real big trouble, when you get to School of Infantry. That's why I say to people, get Army fit, not Kapooka fit. Okay.
Here's someone for the book.
What do we got?
Peter Mayfield. I have my enlistment ceremony on the 15th of March. Less than a couple of weeks. That's very exciting.
So you've got time for like nearly 20 last meals before then.
Yep, it'll go quick.
15th of March, was it?
The 15th of March.
Okay. What's this gentleman's name?
Peter Mayfield.
Peter Mayfield. Okay, mate, the first thing I need you to do, you need to change your name. I don't mean by default. I mean have an alias. You don't want to have social media with your full name, okay, on social media, because the military are very adverse for that, and they can hold you as accountable, you know, if anything shows you representing as a military member, you know, in social, or a position where you can not only give a comment, but even be party to other people making comments that are contradictory with the Army's value system. Having said that, you were going into the military not alone from this channel. You also have Skinner Mate going. You have Jacob Craig, 2 first names, can't be trusted, 2 dads. You've got, you going there with Peter Mayfield, which is you, and I don't mean a sheep, don't get excited, Kiwis. And we've also got 2 people, Lucas Ship and JJ, who go into the Navy. 2 of them, soap on a rope, good to go. Fantastic, mate. Make sure you spend that time between now and then. Keep the muscles moving. Do not get arrested. Do not drink and drive. Do not get someone pregnant. Don't get married. Don't get a tattoo on your face.
Yeah, don't.
And don't overly tell people how you're going to kill it, smash it, awesome, until you come back successful with a Skippy badge on your forehead where people can see how far you have evolved from the man you could be. Again, what song are we talking about, Lauren?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Avril Lavigne, Skater Boy.
Yep.
Show them the man that you can be, you know?
Yep, exactly.
Your actions will make believers. Jay, can we spend some time with Jay for a second? You know, Jay is West Side, not cerebral palsy over there. Great friends with North Side, which is Kane from up in Mackay. You could almost call him kin. Jay, what's going on with you and your lovely lady, mate? You're keeping pretty lurky on that one.
Ms. B, your imaginary girlfriend.
Mr. Bryce is down here too. Great to have you here.
Rocked up. He's good value. We've got a lot of good value folk in the chat.
Smokey retaliating there about, you know, Australians, you know, swiping right on Ugg boots.
We know that's fake news, Smokey.
We were the ones that had a fuel company but called the Golden Fleece.
Yeah, that's true. Ethan says, hi Kaz, just wondering what are the average run distances? What are the average run distances are normally trying to get some kilometres back in the legs for infantry after a wrist fracture?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. I nearly fractured my wrist last night. Mate, run distances aren't just about boop tests, as we know. 2.4, again, is just a test. What I do recommend is everything in our career is normally going to have a weight attached to it, whether it be pack, webbing, fighting equipment, helmet, everything. Night vision equipment, weapon. Okay, so there's nothing you can do to necessarily prepare for that. But what you need to be able to do is train in resistance, in interval training. Although you need to be able to run 5 kilometres without stopping, you know, or 10 kilometres, whatever the distance you're going to run, you need to be able to do that, you know, long, steady pace. But what you have to be able to do is everything is about fast, you know, action, you know, committing yourself to 1 kilometre split, 1 minute off. 1 kilometre split, 1 minute off, or 5 minutes, but then a kilometre again. And then bringing your recovery down as quick as possible, because everything we do is in sprints of movement, whether that be a section attack, whether that be a rush in an urban environment, whether that be a QRF advance to contact quicker than what you could normally move. You know, as long as you are as fast as the middle members of your call sign, which is faster than the slowest man, which is normally gear dependent, which is normally because they're carrying a gun and ammunition, with the ammunition being the heavy component, not the weapon itself, then you'll be okay. Because there is no equity within an infantry section. Everyone's carrying different equipment. Everyone's a different size. Everyone has different responsibilities. You know, That's why you should never feel like, but there's never an excuse if you're a rifleman to be getting beaten by a gunner either. When it comes to moving, whether that be forced march or whether it be running with your weapon at the trail, whatever it may be.
Yep. Okay, we've got some things in the comments here.
Yeah.
Diesel Duck Fan is going in July, but I'm just waiting for him to tell me what date in July.
Okay.
Mullet Man is here. Hi, Mullet Man.
Hey, Mullet. Nice hairstyle.
Yep, and hang on, I saw something else that I wanted to show you. Scott Reed says, hey, Kaz, successfully completed 1 RTU.
Okay.
Good to tune in again, mate. Missed the jokes. Nutsu cow.
Good to have you here, mate. And Nutsu cow back at ya. Well done. RTU. That normally means return to unit.
Yep.
Or 1 RTB means, recruit training battalion. Which one was that?
That was...
Scotty?
Sorry, Scott Reed.
Reedy. Try living in far north Queensland, says Mr. Buckaroony.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that was about.
I don't know. Because there was a question that I was going to read it. Diesel Duck Fan said that he's going in, I think, hang on, let me just find it, 17th, 18th of July.
Okay.
And he's going in as a reservist for infantry. He heard Kapooka is cold in July. Is that true? It's winter. So
It's goddamn freezing. It's goddamn freezing. And the thing is, you don't get to regulate your temperature. And, a drill lesson doesn't get called off because it's raining. It's not getting wet that makes you cold. It's the fact you can't get out of the wet clothes that makes you cold for long periods of time. Everything is stuck to a training period block, which means it doesn't end. They have to get it done. They can't postpone season weather or terrain. It sucks. And when it can't get worse, bear pit. You don't care about the cold? No worries. You can break the ice on top of it.
Yeah. Mr. Buckaroni reckons at 50 it's the start of the downhill slide. I disagree. I heard that 50 is the new 30. So
I disagree with Lauren. I'm closer to 50 than you are, and I can already feel like a failing stock market.
yeah, only just.
Aaron and I sounded like two bloody smokers with COVID, that had done a bloody marathon going up the stairs in the rocks at Sydney over the last 24 hours, off our heads, off that said 6-pack of mid-strength beers. Yeah.
That's funny.
And I just got beaten today 3-0 by my daughter in Jenga.
Oh, really? Come on now. Did you have your glasses on?
Nah.
Maybe that will give you the edge.
She might not be an academic, but she's great. Oh, okay. Scotty Reed was saying it's RAF. 1 RTU.
Right, there you go.
There you go.
Okay.
He's a high
Andrew
flyer.
has a question for you.
Yeah, go.
Andrew said, did you ever want to join the SAS, Kaz?
I did want to join SAS. For those that have ever seen Dan Pronk, on documentaries on the TV, I did the barrier test with him in 1999. I came off subject to for corporal to go on to that course, on that barrier course for to prepare for SASR. It was a really funny one, actually. I went on there with a bit of a sense of humour. Had a horseshoe there. Your gear, you're swimming with your equipment, you're running with your equipment, all that sort of shit. And the SAS guys, I think they thought I was a bit of a dickhead. But I pulled off that to go to East Timor. And for 99, with John Howard, came out there, tears in his eyes. What do we got there?
Mr. Buckaroni with a magenta cow.
Shit, the menstrual cow. When Buckaroni does something like this, that means he needs something.
No, that's not true. Mr.
I didn't say want something. I said need something. I'm going to be activated. I can feel it. Oh no! I wonder what he's gonna have me doing.
Come on now.
Mr. Buckaroony, whatever it is, you know I'm down.
There's no strings attached.
Nutsu cow. Let's put some of this bloody North Queensland calamari to him. There's an irony in this.
It's a kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, calamari.
There is an irony to this, and what it is with Mr. Buckaroony, he does not accept donations on his channel. He's a YouTuber as well. He was an SSM Squadron Sergeant Major in Signals Corps, technical guy, intelligent guy, knows a lot of people I know. Then he went on to the police force and said, you can stick your paperwork, I'll treat that for toilet rolls. And then he went over to the prison system and doesn't get flogged with the prisoners, which tells you he's a pretty good, okay guy. And everything he does is for other people with his lovely lady Roz and Ken, his brother, and his dog Rafa.
And family.
Is a dinky die Aussie.
Yeah, and great channel. It is a really great channel. And also, I just scrolled back and there was a condition. It was, Kaz, incoming for another busker, please, mate.
Okay, incoming from another busker. Okay, what that was about was I caught up with Bucko and lovely Roz down in Sydney in Circular Quay. And we went down there, and that was with the Patreon members. God bless their souls, you know. And we're sending these out to our Patreon members to, I don't know if it's listed before, Bucko, double navy right here. Okay, these are going out to Uncle Joe, who loves his red wine. This is the prison shank, you know.
Yeah.
That's going out to him. So he's got a bit of Australia over there in the USA. And then we've got Jodie Stevens and Maddie, and that's going to go out to them. So she's got something romantic hanging off a purse. But basically what occurred was when Bucko was with me, I wanted him to experience how good it felt just to go up to a stranger for no reason and do something nice for him. And so he was there with lovely Roz. We'd had, again, I think it was 2 beers, mid-strength beers, maybe Coronas even. And we went over and we put some money in Roz's hand, also in Bucko's and also my own. And then we took turns to just do a barrage attack on the one busker who was working hard but not getting any donations. So we took turns in going over there and giving her a donation, and she looked, yeah, oops, green screen going crazy. She was really touched, and I think that Bucko actually took more away from it than her.
Yeah, and the music was lovely, actually.
It was.
Diesel Duck Fan has asked if cadets should be compulsory for anyone under 21.
No.
No, I don't think so either, because it's, you know, I mean, it's a good thing for young people to do if they're that way inclined. It really doesn't always guarantee you an edge in full-time service.
Hey, JC's here. G'day, Thin Blue Line. How you going? Thin Blue Line with JC. We've got Thin Blue Line and Prison Guard and Soldier with Buckaroony. There you go, representation.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're right. I just got more comments. That's all.
Okay, go.
Okay, I'm Wolfstad has got a quick
Love it,
question. When do you think at what stage you can tell people you're in the ADF? Like after you PFT, I don't know what that is, or after basic training?
You can't do it until you've done oath of affirmation.
Yeah.
Until you've received money in your hand from the Crown for serving the Crown, you know, and even then you're not going to get a chance to tell civilians that you're military while you're at Kapooka. You won't get a chance to tell people necessarily that you're military until you get to the School of Infantry, the School of Signals, School of Transport, etc., until you have your first weekend. And then you're still going to be sporting a haircut that looks like you're a prisoner in one of the big wars. There's no reason why you should ever lie about your service. Okay, you tell people that what your service is, but don't tell them that you're fully trained, or let's say you're halfway through training. Okay, because if you don't tell them and then they start to inquire on different things and you can't answer said questions, then you're going to look like you're either an imposter or you're going to give the military a bad name.
Yeah, and you don't want to look like that. Not or something you want to look like. Okay, Diesel Duck Fan has got lots of good questions tonight.
Diesel.
He said, if you're a Warrant Officer 1, I
Okay.
think that means, trying out for SAS, for example.
That won't happen.
Right. He wanted to know, do you retain your rank or do you start straight back down the bottom?
It'd never happen. You know,
Right.
There's no one as old as a Woe 1. To be a Woe 1, you're looking at being 45 to 50 years old. Yeah, you're not going to be trying for SASR. Yeah.
Oh, Miss B is here. There you go, Jay.
If you're going for SASR, rank won't. You're not inspired by rank either. It's about action. Yep. We saw. We had Tim Applin, who was a platoon sergeant, who gave up his rank to go back and be a commando, and then lost his life. There is a lot of people who give up their rank. I know a fantastic guy named Cookie who gave up his rank, senior NCO rank, to go and be a sniper.
Yep.
You know, his rank didn't matter to him anymore. It was about why he joined.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair question, though. These are the sort of things. we
Absolutely.
just don't do. You know, Ethan has asked, Kaz, did you ever want to be in the commandos at all?
I would have rather been in commandos than to be in SASR. Commandos are loud. Commandos is raid orientated. I'm not about sneaking around keeping my mouth shut. You know, I can't do it. I reckon I've got, like a bra, DD, ADD,
Yeah.
undiagnosed. But, you try to hold me down and I'll go crazy like a dog held down on its back. It's it wouldn't be what suits me.
Yep. Yeah, I remember the Applins. They used to come in the tattoo shop all the
Yeah, lovely people.
Yeah, I agree. They hold the door open for a lady, which was lovely.
Yep.
Okay, Mark Zamp, who's a member, has said, Kaz, have you a video on the differences on the battalions in the RAR and other regiments in the infantry corps?
Well, there's only one. There only is one regiment. That's the Royal Australian Regiment.
Right, he's saying, because I'm a little unsure on the differences of some of them. So, that's not a stupid question. You can't know something if you don't know it.
Look, we're all part of the one regiment, the Royal Australian Regiment, okay? But the battalion locations and the, what would you call it? The customs and traditions of the battalions, it's almost like there's a pecking order. Like you've got the most revered battalions have always been the 1st, 2nd and 3rd, and that will never change. 1 RAR and 2 RAR, the first 2 battalions and 3 RAR, okay, 1, 2 and 3 RAR, raised from World War II battalions, 65th, 66th and 67th, okay, and then they're all in Townsville, which means they're competing against each other, okay, they get the lion's share of the glory. And then you've got 6 and 8, 9, okay, that are down in Brisbane, and then you've got 5 and you've got 7 and 7 RAR bookending Australia, okay, in Darwin, where you don't want to be, okay, and also in South Australia, where you don't want to be, the land of the single mums. So if you want to go to Brisbane, it'll probably be because your family wants to have a job there or your family lives there potentially, but that's not necessarily what your career is about. Townsville, if you want to be a soldier, Townsville is where you go. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. When you turn up as an instructor at the School of Infantry, what used to be the question was what battalion you're from. And what you say next makes a difference. It doesn't mean they're worse. It's just that there was like a favouritism, and that was always reminiscent and proven normally by the scores in the Duke of Gloucester Cup before the Cambrian Patrol, where it was always normally 1 or 2 area or 3 area that won the Skill at Arms 4 to 5 day military skills competition to see who was the best battalion. It was always normally 1 or 2, and sometimes 3 area. So those accolades were often and most often earned. It doesn't mean the battalions are worse. What it means is they didn't represent at the times where they needed it. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Joshua Fawn says, hey team, just got here, didn't know it was on tonight. It was an ambush.
It was.
I'm going to have to rewatch it. I'm sorry, but it's great to see you and hear you. It's nice to see you in the rewatch, Joshua.
And Josh, you know what, mate? Please, you don't need to rewatch it, mate. Just like it now if you can, team. Ask a question, Josh. Happy to answer it, mate. No matter what it is, we'll answer it. You don't need to go back and watch it, mate. It's fine. We're happy to answer your questions now.
Put us on in the background while you're washing the dishes or something.
Treat it like a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Mullet Man, this is what I like to hear, has been striving for his year 10 pass now with a tutor for a bit. Sit the course in a couple of months now, very excited for what's to come. It's been many years since I left year 8. You see, it's not too late to do that and better yourself.
And look, this is called broadening your horizons, etc. If I was in recruiting and I saw that you could offset the stigma of going back and getting the necessary work done, I'd actually be quite proud of you. And that would be an indication of action that shows me you are the droid we're looking for. Like we've said in the past, and most people would probably agree, anyone can be a pilot. Pretty much anyone. If you want to be a pilot. You won't be able to be a pilot for Qantas. You won't be able to be a pilot for the RAF.
Yeah, you really should do it. You really, look, having more education is not going to hurt you in your application, and you really, really want to give yourself the best fighting chance to get in there if it's your dream. So you do what you've got to do.
Absolutely do.
That's great. Do you need to call your little lady?
I do. And I also want to tell you something else I saw that was quite sad today, and I wanted to step in and actually help. But I didn't, and I'll explain that in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Wait with me, team. The lady that has my heart. I need to hear her voice.
She's so great.
She's cute.
Yeah.
She picked half your present today.
Yes. So, tell me.
Hi.
Jesus. Hello, darling. How you doing?
Good.
Can you say hello to everyone?
Hi.
Hey, you're a big girl now.
Hi, Lauren.
Hello, Miss Adorable.
Beautiful little girl. What are you doing tomorrow?
I don't know.
Do you want to go and eat some prawns?
No.
Hate seafood. Okay. I get. Do you want to go and have dinner tomorrow night?
Pardon?
Do you want to go and have dinner at the RSL? All you can eat dessert?
No, because Mum was gonna do something with me at night.
Okay. You just let us know what you can do, okay, darling? When you can do it.
Okay.
Thank you for today, but I'm really not happy that you kept beating me at Jenga. What would you say to Mr. Bryce or Mr. Carl or Mr. Mullet Man Andrew or Miss Bugsy Boo? What would you say to them?
Who the hell is Miss Bugsy Boo?
She's the mystery lady of Western Australia. What would you say to them? A bit of advice, something smart.
For what? About what?
About life. One of your life lessons. If you were a teacher and you were giving a bit of advice, what would it be?
It would be, listen to people when they're talking and...
Oh, that's great advice.
So listen more, yeah?
Yeah.
That's beautiful, darling.
And remember your manners.
Yes.
I think they are two of the simplest messages that you could give to someone that gets so many people in so much trouble, including your dad. Who's got the best dad in the world?
I don't know.
Ah, shit! Can it be you? Can you have the best dad in the world?
Sure.
Okay, darling. Thank you. I love you. And I'm going to see you tomorrow if I can, okay?
Okay. Do you know Crazy Rich Asians?
What?
Do you know Crazy Rich Asians?
No.
Crazy Rich Asians, so they're Asians, and they're crazy rich. And it's on now, if
I
you
know
want to
that
watch
show.
it.
I didn't know what you were talking about. I thought you were about to say something that was going to get me in trouble.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians. I'll go and check it out later, darling.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
but
it's just on now.
okay, darling. I love you.
It has lots of kissing in it, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's really cool.
Well, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Clothes and jewellery and stuff.
Okay, darling.
Yeah. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Bye-bye, darling. Bye.
Bye.
The best thing I've ever done is having a kid. You know, I love it.
I loved it when she said, "Who the hell is?" And you know what? That advice she gave was really great.
Yeah.
It shows her wisdom. We've been given one mouth and two ears. We should listen more.
Yeah. And you know what? And mine would always be, always put more on the table than what you take off it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
No, she's a great kid. I love her sass. I think she's really wise beyond her years. Like, really, that advice is so good.
And-
Listening, manners. I'm a stickler for manners. You know, I don't do tantrums. If I'm not going to take them from a 2-year-old, I'm certainly never going to take them from an adult.
Absolutely. And it's something, you know, that it's something that will define you in other people's eyes.
It's true.
You know,
It is true.
you can do 99 great things, you do one bad thing, you know.
Yeah, it's true. That can, takes a lot of, it can take, some things, look, you just can't put the fart back in the bum.
You can't put the fart back in the bum.
Yep, so try not to verbally fart if you can avoid it.
Have we got...
Steve is off to have his dinner.
We've got a big comment there. Is that from Daz?
Hang on, let me go down the end. Yep, here's a serious question from Daz. Kaz, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened to someone else while you were in? Perfect life lesson, he wants. Oh, I think he said perfect life lesson from the little girl. Yes, it was. What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to someone else?
I'm trying to think. There was many, many, many things. I'm trying to think of one which isn't X-rated, which one that can't be deemed as misogynist, racist, or any other title of normalcy that is only appropriate to be said against the average white male. It might be mine. As the platoon sergeant of the Honour Guard for General Cosgrove on his send-off parade, which I was the colour party for, I would told everyone, if anyone stuffs up, if their dress is not good, if it is not immaculate, if it is not the best version that this man deserves, then watch out. Don't expect a weekend. You know, you're going to be in the shit and you'll feel the wrath. And someone said to me, Such, I've gone, yeah, mate. And he's gone, your polyester pants have got a train track right near your clacker. And I've gone, oh, bullshit. So I pulled my strides off, you know. I've never been much of an ironer. I don't even have much iron in my diet. And I looked at it and I thought, you know, you're right. And I can't say dressing standards if I don't do this myself. I said, give me that iron here. I'm going to do it. And so someone gave me this iron that looked like it was a relic for holding papers down in the Civil War. I heated it up. I didn't check it. I started ironing my pants while I'm talking to people about getting ready because we're about to march on the next 10 or 15 minutes. We've done shitloads of rehearsals. And I could smell something. What's that? What's that smell? And it was the crisp that was on this on my polyester uniform. That basically the highest ranking man in the army is about to leave. And I looked down and nearly needed to call 000 because my pants were on fire.
Oh no.
You know, it's too late. I've just told people the standard, and there I am with this patch of charcoal and burnt because of the it was actually what was on the surface of the iron that I put on my pants had melted straight onto my pants.
Oh my gosh.
And so right in the centre of my clacker where Elton John lays his hat, basically what happened was, I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do about it now. And I was the Zulu's platoon sergeant at the time. And so we marched out on there. And when he comes and gives the the inspection of the guard, he walks up behind me. And he was looking at my ass for a long time. I reckon he could see. And that wasn't Vegemite. So I had to suffer with the chief of the army at the time looking at my asshole when I was the protection of the honour guard. So I had the worst clothes. And the other worst one would be when seeing people's hats fly off at the start of a 2-hour 45 parade. So they're just out there with their face like this, looking like they've had Botox and sunburn in the North Queensland sun. Absolutely terrible. Or people passing out in front of their own family members. Come and watch me on parade, the 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment, second to none. Ah, Timber, that's me.
I hate seeing people drop, but it's inevitable, isn't it?
White men bounce when they pass out.
I have seen some guys bounce, yep.
People will say to you, when you're on parade for a prolonged period of time and you start chucking a whitey, they call it, when the sky starts going all around your eyes and you go, uh-oh, that's your blood running to your heart because you're actually going into shock. All you can do is wiggle your toes because you can't move at all. You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Okay, it's discipline. But people behind you will actually say to you, just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. And if you do, you're going to hit the ground face first.
Oh, no.
But they'll be behind you. And this is your own mate saying it. Just go to sleep. Close your eyes. Hold your breath. It'll all be over. Oh, shit. No one feels sorry for you. You don't feel sorry for each other.
You guys are so naughty to each other.
Yeah.
John Paul once made this, because he does woodwork sometimes, and he makes these beautiful spoons. And he once sent this really, really beautiful spoon to a friend of his who was a RSM who was in Sudan. Yep. And so he made this beautiful spoon. He made one for him and one for his wife. So we sent one to his wife and then this one to him. And he addressed it to RSM Dirtbag. And I thought, why would you do that? He said, because I love him. He's my mate. And I thought, that you guys have a really funny way of showing affection to each other.
If you're in the army and you make someone in the army the best man, who's another soldier in your platoon, my way I've always seen it is, why would your wife marry the second best man? You've already told me I'm the best man. I should be having the crack on the wedding night. Hey, guess who we've got here? All the way over from Nam, we've got Dave Penson.
Dave Penson. It's always nice to see him where there's no roads.
Dave Penson was a WO1 in the Australian Army, and now he lives in the street with no name in Nam. He's been there multiple times, multiple tours, and he's the only one that can speak English and only just enough Vietnamese to keep himself from getting strung up. Mate, what a good man,
Yes.
and and he sounds as happy as hell. All the best. Yeah. Buckaroo frontline ammo SASR 300 rounds. That adds up. Frontline ammo SASR 300.
Oh, Mr. Buckaroo actually had a question for you earlier. He wants to know, was there any updates about raising those new battalions, I think?
Yeah, it's not happening, mate. Apparently there's talk that in the next 4 years there might be another battalion that might be opening up and potentially going to Western Australia, I think. But other than that, apparently it's fake news.
Right, yeah. Fake news does spread like wildfire through the veteran community.
And that came from a very reliable source. And I won't tell you the correct state. We'll say it came from Victoria, but that's not where it came from. But it's someone very, very close to the centre, so to speak.
Yeah. Mr. Buckaroo actually had some wisdom too that I'd like to share. He said, Kaz, when you get out, you need to look after yourself. You cannot rely on these organisations. That was when we were talking about Soldier On and that before. He said you are on your own. And that's really what people need to recognise, I think. That is why we need to keep an eye out for our mates and do things like you guys are doing, making communities.
And that is what we do. Now we've got Mr. Buckaroo, we've got Donald Trump, we've got my entire crew that ring each other like they're bickering bloody wives. Once a week I can speak to most of these guys. And it's not because I have something to say. It's because I just rotate my way through the people that I care about, because I never know when they're having a bad day. They're not going to ring me up when they're having a bad day. So I ring them up. And then ultimately, all of a sudden, you're having a 40-minute conversation with someone about the horse that they're trying to train to be a sprinter that's shit and it's probably going to be glue. About people that are buying vehicles, whether it be four-wheel drives, vans, fishing. You know, it's all we do is swap shit, laugh, you know, offset whatever's happening in our lives.
Yeah,
You've got to be active in your own resilience.
Yeah, exactly.
They're sticky.
You do. You have to be proactive in your life anyway. You know, whether you're in the ADF, out of the ADF, just a civilian working at Woolies or local bank, you need to be proactive in your life. There's an old proverb that life is like a tiger. You can either let it devour you or you can get on its back and ride it.
Oh,
Yeah, you're riding the tiger.
I've never heard that saying.
Yeah, I read it somewhere once.
What was another one I just heard? There was another interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one, this one made me spin out a little bit about just how obvious it was. It was, why is it illegal to have testosterone enhancement as a sportsman, but it's not illegal to wear makeup into a beauty competition?
Yeah.
I think that came from Donald Trump. So why is that not considered cheating when a model wears makeup?
Yeah, don't know.
Interesting.
Fair point. Yeah, fair point.
Yep. The 6th Battalion was the next to tour. Yep, and it was me who drew the card.
Yeah.
He did Canungra, Shell Water, before he left. That wasn't enough to make him quit. So when we were talking about before, one thing I do believe we could do, should do maybe, because we've had this debate a lot. I'd love to know what Mr. Buckaroony says about it, because I don't want to train these scallywags, but his national service. The reason why I say that is every single country that has national service is a better version of itself because it has national service. Because being a military member, that year of caring about other people instead of yourself, being mission-orientated, team-focused, takes the selfishness out of you. It will make your country have the fibre, the resilience, the better version of themselves. It would make Australia a lot better. People would say that was evasive. I didn't want to do that. You go, one, you'd now know how to physically look after yourself, do PT, understand what it feels like to be exhausted, to fail, then get picked up again. But also to have other people there that don't need to be your best friend, but are there as part of the team and share the trenches with you. Because if you don't ever do the military and you're not a get up and get going farmer kind of person, no matter what your industry is, then you can literally sit in your petri dish and ferment an entire life. One of the saddest things I ever see, Lauren, is people that have made mistakes and they're not even 25.
Yeah.
And you're going, you could literally live this shit life for another 75 years. Living is a curse for some people.
Yep, exactly.
All because of decisions that can be made that can alter what you do next. I'd love nothing better than to pay people that look like they've had a, what would you call it?
Don't know.
A wrong turn in the bend, and ask them, how'd you get to here, mate?
Yeah.
And then buy them a nice dinner to say thank you for that, you know, because your words are almost a little bit prophetic, almost a little bit biblical. By sharing your pain in a candid manner, you might actually resurrect someone from a bad idea right now who's listening. I spoke to Aaron about a lot of philosophic topics over the last few days, because he's quite a deep thinker.
He's a deep man, yeah.
He is a deep man, said Elton John. And the one things we realised is every step of the way, you can turn left, you can turn right, or you can go straight ahead, but you can never go backwards. Sometimes you're going to turn left, and that's the bad idea. Sometimes you turn right, and it's a great idea. Sometimes you go straight ahead. Your entire life can be a serendipitous paper, scissors, rock adventure, but there's always hints. There's rarely a door that you go through with great intention, then you've stuffed up forever, because people are very, very forgiving. But if you keep turning the wrong doors, eventually you can't blame anyone but yourself. You can't blame vice. You can't blame others.
Eventually you'll end up down a corridor that only has bad doors.
Yeah.
You know, because the more bad decisions you make, you've got to remember, action always equals a reaction, and that's consequences. Whatever you do will have consequences, be it positive or negative. And the more negative consequences you cause for yourself, the more difficult it'll be to get back on what we call the straight and narrow path.
That's true. We've got soccer skills there. G'day, mate. How you going?
Yep.
If a hallway is dark and you choose to share that dark moment with other people travelling in a dark direction, they're not there. They're not your friend. They can feel like a friend when you're out drinking, when you're taking it easy, when they're feeding your problems, but they're not going to be there when you fall. You know, so be very careful of the fast lane, because you'll hit a wall or a dead end a lot quicker than what you will that if you treat your life with honour.
Exactly, same as burning bridges. Be very, better make sure you sometimes have to burn bridges in life, but really think about it before you do it. Okay, Ryan Patel has said, "Hey Kaz, finally enlisted yesterday after a 3-year process as infantry reserves. Currently at RIC.
Okay.
Going full-time is my fallback if New South Wales police application goes south. What's transition like?"
Transition from military?
From reserves to full-time, I think he's asking.
It's normally not good. People don't normally like people jumping the queue, so to speak. If it comes across like someone couldn't join in the regular army and did their time in Army Reserve, but then especially if they bypass with qualifications, Kapuka or IET training, then they haven't been tested at the same level that every single other person has to get to where they went. And when you consider there is a massive failure rate, people never truly know when someone comes from Army Reserve, would have they made it if they'd had the same level of arduous activity put upon them. Because when you have gone through Singleton, for example, you know that they've done hardcore. You know that they've done defensive week. You know they've done assault weapons. You know, they've done attack week. You know, the live fires. You know, when you've gone around that, they'll never truly know. And you're not supposed to ever be able to wear a Skippy badge unless you have actually done the School of Infantry training. Sadly, I know people that came from Army Reserve to regular Army, but then went back multiple times and were an instructor at the School of Infantry when other people then gave them shit that they hadn't earned their Skippy badge, despite the fact that they had never gone back, if they were so good, to show what they could do as an instructor at said School of Infantry.
Okay.
Sonia, an Army Reservist, had done 4 years as an instructor at the School of Infantry regular Army, but the other guy had done 13 weeks there as an IET. You're going, well, that doesn't make sense. Someone's been there for 6 months is having a go, someone's there for 4 years. Everyone's a case by case, man. Everyone's a case by case.
Mike has said, "G'day, Kaz.
Magic Mike.
How often does artillery do infantry minor tactics?"
They're meant to do it every single year. They're meant to. Do they? Don't know. It depends on the unit. Okay, there was an accelerated infantry course that was actually done that I didn't agree with by artillery to allow them to be reinforcements for infantry platoons, companies, etc. None of them ever came to us. But yeah, I'm not a fan of anything that hasn't gone through exactly the same tests of time, rigors, conditions, tested by infantry specific instructors. I'm also not a fan of section commanders doing IET courses in battalions when they're not actually INT instruction, because then there's dodginess that happens and you can't afford to have that. And dodgy normally happens because people are making up for shortfalls of what they may not know or were too lazy to learn. You know, so you got to be careful of that.
Indeed. And Jay's there giving everyone a reminder to hit the like button. And
Thanks, man.
Subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to click the bell so that you will hopefully be notified when there's something to be notified about.
And team, by the way, we've had a lot of people explaining to us at the moment they're not ever getting basically the notifications. Some people have been unsubscribed. You know, look, we all understand the world we live in now. It's fine. It ain't personal. I get it. You know, take it easy. But yeah.
YouTube's doing it to a lot of.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Apparently, the true crime community's been hit really badly with people being unsubscribed all the time.
And they're my favourite channels.
Yeah, yeah, I love them too. Absolutely, I love them. I find them quite relaxing. Is there something wrong with me? I don't know.
But I've got hashtag me too.
Yeah, exactly. Scorps has asked, hey Kaz, do you know anything on the AIDP?
Is that the Australian Indigenous program?
I don't know. I'm trying to
AIDP?
understand that stuff.
Can you just confirm, is that the Aboriginal, Australian Indigenous program? Can you just please let us know, mate? What else we got? A question about do infantry regiments in Townsville, Brisbane, or
That's
Cane?
Cane. I think he's asking where are they?
Okay, you got 5 and 7 bookending Australia in Darwin and Adelaide. Okay, then you've got 1, 2, and 3 area. Okay, 2nd Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment, 2nd and none, in Townsville. Then you've got 6 and 8, 9 who are in Brisbane. And then you've got the 2nd Commando Regiment, which is down in Sydney. And then you've got SASR, which is over in Perth. There you go.
Yep. Yes, he says it's the Army Indigenous Development Program.
I'm not a fan, to tell you the truth. I don't believe in special treatment for anyone.
I'm a layperson. I don't understand. Are they saying that Indigenous folk can't do it at the normal standard? Because they do all the time. I've seen them do it.
Yeah, they do. And I've almost never seen a platoon go through the School of Infantry that doesn't have an Aboriginal in it.
I'm confused. Why don't you look? Like I said, I'm a layperson. I don't understand this stuff. How about you just meet the standard?
Look, I'm a big believer in not a single person deserves any special treatment to get in. And I'll explain something to you why. We've already seen the dumping of standards for females to try and make that successful in infantry. We've also seen it with Aboriginals. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. Let's just say that someone gives you, because you cannot make it on your own means into this area, and it also comes down to whether it's academia, whether it becomes criminal record, whether it comes down to trainability, whether it comes down to, you name it. What's going to happen when no one gives a fuck what your gender is, when no one gives a fuck what your colour is, and this is all the time, but you're sharing the line at night time, fatigued, adverse conditions, live fire activities, helmet on, night vision equipment on, tunnel vision, and you weren't meant to be there? Whose fault is it if that person that wouldn't normally make it shoots one of their own people in a range incident because they weren't up to the task? Do we say, oh, it's not his fault? Is it not her fault? You know, you can't be blaming politicians then. You can't be blaming social justice warrior identity politics. There's a reason why people have to be at a certain standard, and that's because we train with weapons in close proximity in adverse conditions, also at night time. And honestly, I don't give a fuck about someone's colour. I don't give a shit about their religion. I don't give a shit about their creed. You're either recommended or not recommended, and that is the only way of thinking. There's no good or bad. There's only one way of thinking to that.
Yep, and I think what you have to bear in mind too, if you're someone who's being tempted to take one of these special programs, you have to remember
You'll be tarnished by it.
Well, also, apart from that, why are they doing that? They're doing that to virtue signal, and like I always say, just don't allow yourself to be used as a token.
That's right.
Okay, do yourself proud. And I think what you need to do is that you've got to remember that once you're in, they're not there for you. You've already served your purpose to them. They've already been able to virtue signal on the weight of your number. So I would suggest you do what lots of other Indigenous folks have done and just meet the standard.
Here's one more on that one. I'm not trying to stack on, but let's put things into perspective that everyone here, whether it's Mr. Buckaroony, Guardian, Stickman, George, etc., that you are the person that has said, yes, we should have an Indigenous program. We should have a quota for females in. The females in particular allows for a disgustingly low level of fitness to be allowed to be in, which means they're going to be the rear person, which is considered the dangerous person in a live fire activity. With the person that writes off and says, no, I'm okay with that, we'll say the Defence Minister. What about, what's her name? The female, I can't remember who she is. Will they stand in front of you in a live fire and let your wayward finger that's not qualified like everyone else to be going back and forth with a safety catch live fire trigger? Will they stand in front of you? Because you're asking me to stand in front of you?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're asking Lauren's son to stand in front of you?
Exactly. And it's not stacks on. We are behind you all the way, and we will help you in any way we can, to just like we do everyone else, to meet that standard.
And that's why people come here, to listen to and ask an excellent question like that. And
it was an excellent question. We've kind of, I don't think we've touched on that. We have touched on the female side of things, and we feel exactly the same about it.
what's Mr. Brycey saying there?
He's saying, gotta go, but did you ever use L2A1AR?
Yes, I did. That's that the AR was the SLR automatic version. Yeah.
Right, that would burn me bad for getting to fold up bipod.
Yeah. Well, Mag 58 has burnt me, so has the Minimi. We're hoping to do a reaction video on what happens when people fire 700 rounds out of a LSW, and it destroys the barrel. So people understand that we don't just put our finger heavily on a trigger. There's controlled rates of fire, normal rate, rapid rate, etc. How many rounds we carry, why we carry that many, how many minutes of capability it gives us, barrel ready, change on, all these different pronouns that a lot of people don't even understand exist, even a lot of military people that are travelling at the speed of technology instead of the principles of warfare that have been learnt over the mistakes of those in the footsteps of the Anzacs. Said quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a tough one. If someone's, felt like I am not going to get my dream job unless I take this path to get in. I don't know. You've just got to accept the fact that.
It must be tempting. I understand the temptation for sure. You want something really bad. Here's a shortcut to it.
Well, who was the gentleman that asked the question?
Scorps.
Sorry?
Scorps.
Well, okay. Well, how about we turn that around? Gorps, what do you think about it?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think about special treatment for a subset of our populace?
Yeah, folk, whoever they are, was token, group that's been chosen to do this. I think he was asking again. He was wondering if he has to pass the PFA for that.
You're goddamn right. You'd better.
Yeah.
The PFA is such a low rate. If someone can't pass PFA, they've already shown they don't have the commitment or the get up and go to follow the footsteps of the Australian soldier, and that includes our famous Indigenous soldiers who have represented our country for the last 120 years.
Yep, exactly. Kane has just reminded me that your Anzac Day is only 2 months away. That means your birthday is only 2 months away. I actually have a special surprise in mind for your birthday.
Is it COVID?
No. No, it's something I will need to talk to you about beforehand, though, so it can't be too much of a surprise, but I'll talk to you about it soon. Scorps has said, yeah, I have heard that it's not just in case you haven't reached the standard. It's apparently if you're not confident enough.
No, get rid of it.
Yeah.
If you're not if you're not confident, never join.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
that's because you need that. You do need that confidence. You need to be able to be confident to perform your job to the standard.
Yeah. If you're not confident, I'd be asking why. You know, if you're not confident, we are not in a position when we join the military that they would call that immaturity, psychologically not ready. You know, that's what they would call it. When you turn up, you need to be ready to represent yourself. Although we're in a herd, okay, you need to have everything as an implied task covered. We just had a young fella from our channel, 21 years old, go there, hadn't even done day one of the actual training and had collapsed 3 or 4 times in front of staff, and now he's getting psychologically discharged. You go, and sadly for this guy, he goes, I'll go back and try another 3-4 years. You go, no, you won't. They will never let you back. If you folded like paper when you weren't even getting trained in that time, you'll never be considered worthy of a second chance. That'd be a liability. And the poor young fella was saying, oh, instead I'm going to go and try for police or paramedic. You go, no, you don't get to do that either.
Yeah.
If you are psychologically unable to hold up your own weight, the last thing you can afford to do is then be pushed onto another agency where it's going to come up again, or worst case, you're going to do just enough to get through, and then all of a sudden it shows its face when you're outside the wire as either a police officer or a paramedic or a fireman. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel
Exactly.
like is this what Dave Penson looks like in his front yard where I am right now?
Maybe. I like the cute little things. I think it's really cute. I like the way it's drawn. I like it very much. It has like a graphic novel sort of look to it.
Yeah.
I like it. Like Mike has just put a call out, maybe someone in the comments can help him. Does anyone know of any books about artillery history or artillery, etc.? Double artillery for him. He's interested.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Coral Balmoral, was one of the battle honours where I believe it was New Zealand artillery saved the day, firing at flat trajectory, stapling some of the Vietnamese to the trees.
Yep. Ryan Patel has a carry-on the back of his last question about going from reserves to full-time. If I go from reserves to full-time, am I able to go through SINGO full-time, infantry IETs? Personally, I would like to if I transfer. You
won't necessarily get a choice, mate. This is all about the army saving money. So that's the thing. It's not even there. It's not even happening to do you a favour. It gets taken out of your hands, mate. And it can go both ways. Some people lose their rank and go over and have to do everything. Other people go over there and just get skated through and then turn up undercooked, and then have a horrible time in the battalion because they didn't have the skill sets available. But on the paper, all it had was competent or not yet competent, and there said competent, which means there's not that level of competent, highly competent, or competent, and I don't agree with that. It should have a score. It should say, were you good, were you very good, or were you at job standard, whatever.
Yep, exactly. Scorps is going, he said, hey Kaz, I have to head off. Sorry man, I'll catch you later. It was nice to see you. Good question, Scorps.
Yeah, well, excellent questions, and thank you for having the maturity to hang with us, mate.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're keen on going all the way, stick around, watch the old streams, and we want you to succeed.
We do.
As you want to succeed, maybe even more.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, indeed.
Can we ask a question here without him and trying to embarrass anyone? Is there anyone here that has ever been into like miniature wargaming, painting miniatures, Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, etc.? Not that I play it, But at the moment, this is going to be the gift that keeps on giving, the Lauren project, because hopefully Lauren's family is now going to have videos, basically maybe painting or showing the organisation of what we provide from them to feed their channel, to give ourselves an escape as well.
Yeah, no, my lads here go nuts for miniatures, especially like the 40k, the Warhammer, things like that. They really love it. And in fact, someone said, is that an anime backdrop? I have been going crazy watching an anime lately. I've been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with my son, and I'm so deep into the storyline that I think I've become a fan.
I've never watched anime.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. I don't know if it'd be a thing.
I always thought anime was sort of almost linked to young-looking girls in school uniforms and.
That's because all the anime you see is on RedTube.
I have never swiped right on a cartoon. Been tempted.
Moving right along.
The importance of hobbies. Lauren, can you explain to those that are watching, some of them young, some of them caught up in their testosterone at the moment, the importance of having overlapping hobbies to take you through the hard times and to develop those throughout your life, and despite the fact that some of them can be embarrassing?
Yeah, exactly. Look, I play D&D. I watch anime. Do lots of things that other people might find embarrassing. But hobbies will keep you alive. Hobbies will bring you like-minded people. Hobbies will just keep you focused on a bad day. They will give you something to look forward to. They will give you something like an anchor in your life. They will help you define who you are to yourself. And there's so many things. You can do so many things nowadays. Whether it's something like, kayaking or canoeing or, going for long walks or, bushwalking or doing something with your hands, is really good. Or photography, something artistic. Take up painting. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Sometimes it's just the act of doing a hobby. And the more you do something, you're inevitably going to get better at it.
There's almost nothing more pure than someone who is honest about their hobby and then finds the tribe that generally is into that hobby. There might not be a single person that shares that hobby, but once you meet that, what do you call it? Not the undercurrent, the crowd that has it. There's one thing I guarantee. You cannot have depression while you're engulfed in a hobby that you're honestly a fanatic about. There is no depression.
Because in that moment you're lost. You've got something to focus on. And it's really good to ground you, like if you do get bad anxiety and things like that. It's actually, I think, this is just my opinion, self-care. You have a hobby, something you enjoy. Don't pick it for the image. Like Kaz said, it might even be embarrassing. Just, if you want to go do boot scooting, go do the best boot scooting you can do and be loud and proud about it because, that's your thing. You go do it. I love playing D&D. Stickman, I'm so excited because one of my sons is getting a 3D printer. The possibilities are endless.
Explain that to me. Like, for example, how does that print something? Like, for example, if we got him, for example, a model, we'll just say a model plane, we'll keep the Raffies happy, and we got a model Spitfire. How do you, I picture it being crushed between a printer and.
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's got like a little, it's just like a printer, just like a printer that you can see, and it builds it. You need to watch maybe some of the people who make like the dioramas, some of the underwater dioramas even maybe, and where they put them in resin, because then you'll get to see their printers printing them out.
But wouldn't the materials cost more than what it would be to buy the model?
Maybe at first, but not anymore. They're not too much. It's pretty much the same, maybe a little more than filling up a computer printers are a pain in the butt. Filling them up is kind of an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
But they're not that bad now, so it's actually quite good. And you can actually, if you use Adobe and that, you can just use the 3D modelling to create what you want to create with the pen and the pad, and then you just print it out, and it prints it out right in front of you.
Sometimes I feel like the dumbest son of a bitch in the village. It's...
No, I feel like that too.
Like I've discussed with you before, I still cannot get past the fact that people created, a pin that touches vinyl, that recreates a human's voice.
I'm the same.
It's
the same, like the internet, and that's all witchcraft, isn't it? But it doesn't mean we can't use it. We don't need to have to understand how it works to be able to use it.
look, it's true.
Well, I don't know how it works, but I am fascinated by it, especially the 3D printing. I cannot wait to make my own little D&D characters out of that. Can't wait.
We had a discussion a couple of days ago, Aaron and I, and he asked me to explain to him about the share market and also the dangers of technology, and even little things like Bitcoin that has no ceiling to how much it can be worth. Yeah. And the fact that a layman, a person without skill, without any formal training, can literally have an account opened for them, have money injected into it, and without the labour that normally is associated with a successful life or hard work, that bank account or share account can explode to such a level in just a waiting game that they can have the riches of kings without responsibility. And if this happens and we create a wash of riches that just sweeps over, where almost everyone has got more money than they need, the danger in that is the good times it creates, with no one to go and mow the lawns, with no one willing to do the shitty jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
That you can end up with a civilization, despite the fact that it's living in a land of plenty, can start to slide backwards. It's we're living in a really weird world where hard work doesn't necessarily pay off.
Yeah.
It's a really weird thing.
It's a really strange era. Stickman has said prints cost him a few cents in resin and electricity. He has a resin printer and it builds things in layers from the top down. It's raised upside down as it goes. They print with heaps of supports, so you have to break the final product. So it's just like miniatures. We have to cut them away from the form that they're on. Yeah. Guess who's here? Marco Russo is here, and he wants to know if you still remember him.
Senor Russo, of course we remember you, mate. How you going?
Sure, we remember you. Yeah, absolutely.
Look, you've only got to be on here for a few streams, team, and your name sticks with us basically forever, and you become LORE, law of the channel. You become the family.
We remember you, Marco. Yaros has said,
Kebab.
Can you please say hi to Milan?
I can. Milan is in the person or the country. Hello, Milan. How you going? It's Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. We're the global channel, and tonight we've turned up here to speak about Milan. Not just a place or a person, but an attitude. And if you were going to work for me, I would give you the project of working for the Galapagos tortoise. Monitor it, time-lapse for 200 years, and tell me how much distance it's travelled. Now go about your ways.
Yeah. I'll say hello to Milan as well. Hello, Milan. Well, who's Milan?
Can we hear a little bit more about Milan, please?
You don't understand. I'm like Esme Watson. You're probably too young to understand who that is. I need
Country
to
practice.
know. Up with my share. I need to know what's going on. Who is Milan?
And Ryan. Ryan's off, is he?
Yeah, are you off, Ryan? You've got to go. Thanks for answering my questions. Over the moon and keen to get into training. Good job. Don't overdo it. Don't play yourself.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Guys, gals, do you want to roll? Do you want to get out of here? Do you want to speak? How about we speak for another 5 minutes? Okay, then we'll burn the village down.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
If a village burns, is it sort of in a positive way? It kills the mosquitoes there too. What?
Come on now. Come on. You've gone off the reservation.
I hate mosquitoes.
Thinking about getting a tattoo.
Of a mosquito.
It's okay, Kane. Yeah, JC said he's got one or some. I've got so many they melt together. So I've just got lots of. Looks like one big one, but it's actually lots of ones. So I'm getting some more too. I want to tattoo my feet for some reason.
What the hell?
I really want to put some tattoos on the top of my feet.
Huh.
They look good. I don't know if I will or not, but I've been thinking about it.
I can imagine that'd be quite painful.
Oh, it'll be alright.
Just put.
It's just that, for anyone who hasn't had one, it's more like a burning feeling. Some people say, I've heard it feels like getting cut with a razor blade. It doesn't. It's just like a burning feeling. And when it's healing, you're basically left with like a gravel rash. So it doesn't hurt too much as long as you look after it properly. But it depends on where you're getting it. Like that one down your spine, Kaz, I really don't enjoy the feeling of the tattoo machine vibrating over bone. So, there's some places that hurt more for different people. Men and female have different soft, sort of sensitive spots. Women don't seem to enjoy the lower back much, which is funny because that's a really common spot. Men don't seem to enjoy chests or stomachs a lot. So,
Stomach would hurt.
Yeah, stomachs seem to hurt men an awful lot. But everybody, when you get go for the outside arm or forearm. It actually feels pretty nice on the forearm. I actually quite like it. Leo's here. Hi, Leo.
Leo, there you go, mate. We love a lion. We love a good lion. We've got only about 4 minutes to go, but I'll stay on an extra 5 minutes, Leo, if you've got some questions, my friend.
Yeah, because I'm waiting to find out who Milan is, Yaros.
Yeah, me too. Senor Kebab. Or was it Marco Russo that was talking about Milan?
No, it was Yaros. You were
Okay.
right. Marco Russo was saying g'day because we haven't seen him for a while.
Yep. Why don't you get tattooed, take that, on your kicking foot?
Because I don't kick people often.
Okay.
In fact, I never kick people. And people might think it's bad.
If you're going to kick someone, never do it unless they're down. You should only kick people when they're down. You got a better chance of hitting them first time.
Arm tattoos, I will stand arm tattoos. They're the easiest. Go for them. That's like the least painful. Go for them.
When I found getting tattoos, the only time it really hurts is not necessarily. Okay, it always hurts. But
It's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable feeling. It's more about sort of being able to endure something uncomfortable.
It's the wipe when you wipe the blood off.
Yeah, we love doing that.
That kills after a while because you know it's coming again.
Yeah, and
It's that big wipe is going to happen. It's like someone's rubbing their hand across sunburn. You go, not again. No.
It is like that. And we love doing it too. We also love it when we finish the outline and we go in with the alcohol swab to get rid of the stencil. That's like our favourite bit. Here's Pirate with a seasick cow, and he wants your thoughts on padres.
For starters, let's throw a tentacle at you. No, we'll give him a Nutsu cow. He was kicking the water. It was coming down all around him. You are the white
I
warrior.
accept!
Mate, I quite like the Padre. For those that don't know, I'm a spiritual guy.
Yeah, I like the Padre even when I wasn't spiritual. He was very helpful. They are very, very helpful.
And I take it that Pirate likes the Padre too. That the Padre is the guy that you can go to that's outside the chain of command, but don't think when you go there that you're going to get pity because they're always normally alcoholics for some reason, and they're very strict with the way they look at you. They don't patronise you, but you can have a conversation with them and you can go up to them and say, I don't know who to turn to, and they will definitely be there to help you. The Padre is there because it is outside the chain of command. The voice of reason that can tell you, don't go down that lane, young fella. You're about to make a mistake.
I found out who Milan is.
Yeah.
Yaros's 6-year-old son.
Ah,
Isn't that gorgeous? I love it when you guys, when we get to know your family.
Milan, how you going, mate?
Yeah.
What's Milan still doing awake?
Yeah, I hope you're being good for Dad.
Yeah, good on you, mate. What's your favourite superhero? Huh?
Yeah.
Let us know more about Milan if you can, and we'll do whatever we can to tailor a special feeling for him so he feels included on the big screen, and maybe put it on the guys, if you ever want to call out for your child, let us know, and make sure you don't watch on a computer screen. Make them watch it on TV, because they don't understand the difference. They think they're on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really big deal.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. And we also really like to get to know you better. This channel isn't just about Kaz, or the moderators and that. It's about you guys.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just a channel.
Yeah. No, JJ, they're much more than that. He thought chaplains were just preachers. In fact,
No.
they're much more than that. If you're even an army wife, or I don't know how it works in the RAF or the Navy, I can only speak for this, and you need some help with something, the chaplain, the padre is someone you should really, really reach out to, because he can do things that no one else can. And they will be interested in helping you and your partner. So
Absolutely.
that's a lot.
And they're officers as well.
Yeah, and they are very, very good. And also, they are also trained into many denominations, all the way from paganism all the way through. So even if you're of a different spiritual background, they are well trained to counsel you.
Yep. They're also one of the last points of contact before you make peace with the Lord, no matter what your denomination is, because they're not there to represent Catholics. They're not there to represent Protestant. They're there for all religions,
Yep.
including Islamic.
Exactly, and sometimes they give really good talks about feral cats.
The cat's in the cradle.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who or what the famous talk about feral.
Oh, the feral. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you. We used to have the padre at Singleton would tell you, but you know what? It was true what he used to say. You'd go, what the hell? I'm here, and all of a sudden you're getting a formal lesson on the feral pussy.
You were getting a truth bomb.
Yeah.
That's what you were getting.
It was talking to young men, you could argue some are boys, about the dangers of trusting fast women. And the folly. It's like he's talking to the captains of ships about how to navigate stretches of rocky outcrops and shallow waters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi, Survival Man 343.
He's got an excellent Instagram, Survival Men.
Oh, really? I actually haven't been on Instagram for ages. Sorry to anyone
Yeah,
who sent me.
neither have I.
It.
Yeah, neither have I. For some reason, Instagram's just not doing it for me anymore.
Look, I've been living many, many Instagrammable moments, but I've been living them.
Yeah.
So I haven't put a stop to take a photo, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it feels like we're in a position at the moment that, it's almost ready for change. Just what does change going to look like? Embrace it. Keep moving, because if you stay static, you go stale. With that, Leo, let's take it easy. Let's let some of you guys and gals go to bed. Sorry for those in Western Australia that are going, I'm just starting to get into this because it's actually almost dinner. But it is great to have you here. At times you might think...
Jay's son turns 19 on Sunday. Happy birthday.
He was only 19.
Yep, Master Hayes. Have a really great time.
That's awesome.
Yep, indeed.
My boy turns 19. What a big day.
Yeah, that's a huge day, Jay. Well done, Dad.
That's probably 18 is not when you turn an adult. That's when you can vote.
Yeah.
19 is when you become an adult, because you've had a year of being on your P plates as an adult.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like my son just turned 21. That's big. It's big for me as a parent too,
Yeah, massive.
It's huge, yeah, exactly. But there's something great about knowing that you got your children through childhood and they're still alive.
Yep.
So that's really great. You did it, Dad.
Look, it's true. Yeah. Well, let's get out of here. I've had a fantastic few days. A lot of opening my own horizons. A lot of soul searching. A lot of rewards that were paid from a trickle feed of military pension that turned into a torrent that paid me back 30 years later. You know, and the fruits of that is hopefully we're going to see a camper van soon. You know, hopefully the shares we've invested in means we can upgrade and potentially buy a house with cash in the next 2 years when they expect this to break all records. Hopefully it puts myself into a position with my ex-partner that also shows other people the best thing you can do in breakups is never have a lawyer, is never let it get to the point where you can't communicate. You know, and always remember that the parent of your child, you know, until they do something that is absolutely reprehensible, puts the children in danger, cannot come back from, that you're on this planet together, and it's important that children have the best chance of also trusting in the institution of relationship, the benefits of man and woman depending on each other. When people say, I don't need anyone, you go, bullshit. You don't want to be Mr. Independent.
We all need someone, or Miss Independent. We all need someone.
And never say the words unapologetically me, because as soon as you say that, pardon the language, you've basically said to everyone, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
Exactly. I'm a dick and I don't want to grow and I don't want to change and I'm not interested in what you think. Yarrow says Milan's favourite is Iron Man. Good choice.
Iron Man. Yep. As long as he never gets what I've got, where he bleeds out of his clacker.
Oh, right,
you know,
yeah.
Because I'm ironless man. I'm ironless man. Take it easy.
Thank you, members.
That's Lauren's cue to say, Kaz, you're starting to talk shit. That hangover from that 6-pack of middle-strength beer. Take it easy, guys. Get some stories. Let us know in comments. Grab a hobby before you need one. Let's be the best version of ourselves. Let's widen our horizons. Let's prepare ourselves for a first, second, and third course of action that gets us through this generation, which is the first to officially be allowed to be selfish enough to enjoy their life and the resources that can be spent sometimes on ourselves.
Yeah.
Emma,
exactly.
See you there, darling. Anyway, let's take it easy. Have a good day. See you soon. And let's stay classy.
Always.
Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, girl.